mana.
Hey, what's up everybody? Just want to give you all a quick little update on what I've done with my Lightning Tendrils Elementalist since the last video, and I'm pretty excited about it. So previously I was doing the Castrol channeling Lightning Conduit thing, which was pretty cool. You know, I was swapping between Stormburst and Lightning Tendrils to be able to hit the full screen, and the clear was really good with the Stormburst setup, but then swapping over to Lightning Tendrils, and then if I really wanted to push the single target higher, I would actually just remove the Castrol channeling and do pure Tendrils itself right there. And the damage there was okay. I think I got it up to like 12, 13, 14 million DPS, which is very respectable. However, that's just pure Tendrils where you have to hit them. This AoE here would be my entire sphere of influence, and it is really limiting and kind of uncomfortable to just have to hit with the Tendrils itself. You're gonna leave a lot of stragglers all around the edges, and all of it was kind of decent. I do wanna emphasize that the defenses in the previous video that I emphasized were really, really good, and I was really happy with those. I did lose a lot of that with the changes here. It is still tanky after a sort, but there are some severe weaknesses that I still need to figure out. I have a plan for that, but it's not quite there. Today, I want to do the opposite of the last video and highlight the offensive changes that I made. The big thing that you'll notice is that I am Ignite based. The key here is that we can propagate our Ignites with Fan the Flames, which is really, really hard to hit. These cluster jewels are a pain in the ass to roll. I just hit this with a bunch of single Scorch fossils until I hit Fan the Flames with Burning Bright, which is like good enough. Ideally would be with something like Wasting Affliction for damaging ailments, deal damage faster, but that's a really hard combo to hit, and Fan the Flames with Burning Bright is pretty good, not to mention that we really do like increased AoE here. But yeah, why does Ignite even work at all with Lightning Tendrils? The key here is that we're using Phantasmal Lightning Tendrils, which gets more damage every 4th pulse. By default, Lightning Tendrils will do 200% more damage with hits and ailments every 4th pulse no matter what, but with Phantasmal, we can make that go up to a very high number. You can see with 23% quality, it goes to 487%. Now, normally this isn't like a straight DPS increase because you'll notice there is a 17% less damage multiplier here. So you're doing 17% less damage and then one big one every 4th pulse, which if you have high enough cast speed is pretty good regardless, and you'll get those big chunks in there, but it's not just like a win-win to just push quality and do insane damage. However, with Ignites, whatever the strongest Ignite is that you have on the enemy, that's all that matters. So all we have to do, I have a 0.18 cast time here, is channel for 0.72 seconds, and then we'll have a full biggest possible Ignite on the enemy. The key, obviously, is that we're using Shaper Flames. Every single hit can ignite, all damage can ignite. We are missing this 25% more damage multiplier here. There is no easy way to go from lightning to fire and really keep your damage up. I've done all sorts of shenanigans in PoB with using Call the Brotherhood and Avatar the Fire, Cold to Fire support, and all that type of stuff, but you can't really do that. You'll notice that the PoB, if you've been looking at Ignite Elementalist this league at all, might look pretty familiar, but I've made some notable changes here. So if you want to do the really, really big damage, you know, Rutu's Ignite Vortex is insane. It's going to get tens of millions of DPS, a large part, in fact, because it can take advantage of Cold to Fire support and get that 25% more multiplier there. And Vortex is just a very strong on-hit spell, funny enough. I kind of wanted to build this a little bit differently and kind of hybridize it with my defense that I outlined in the previous video. You'll notice that I'm not really going into spell suppression at all. I would like to try to get some in, I guess, but I'm trying really hard to stick with like the Glancing Blow setup, and in fact lean into it even further and probably eventually go for increased max res. If I can hit 80 all res, that will go a long way, of course, for making up for the lack of spell suppression. You'll notice that I'm also still armor based. I'm not going into Ghost Dance or anything like that, we're just trying to go for big life, big armor, overall big defense there. I also have recover life on block here. I am attack block capped, not spell block capped anymore, unfortunately. We did have to lose that. And then I also have life gain on hit for enemies hit with spells, which we hit a ton with our lightning tendrils. So this is actually a really, really good life sustain. Not to mention that every enemy that we ignite, we recover 2% of life. So as long as we're still just cruising through the map, our life is just perfectly topped off the entire time. And it's actually really, really comfortable. Now you'll notice in the clips that I played at the beginning, there was a lot of explosions. Now, obliteration is not very good damage. In fact, it gives this build literally 0 damage at all because we're not doing any physical damage whatsoever, and spell damage does not help our ignites. However, the Explodey itself, those profane blooms, will ignite, will hit really, really hard. And, you know, if you've seen anyone that's doing the ignite stuff right now, using like the profane bloom, forbidden jewels, or anything like that, it's just a freebie for clearing the screen. And it goes a long way for making clear really, really comfortable. The really interesting thing here is I've taken a GG scepter and compared it to Singularity. And Singularity is like almost as good because we're already pushing so many gem levels. I'm already up to level 23, I guess 24. Once I have a level 21 tendies, there's kind of diminishing returns on pushing gem levels to the point where just the flat damage and the 100% increased damage that we get from Singularity is actually really, really big for this build. And Singularity is just a little 5 chaos scepter, which is great for us. So yeah, clear is really, really good. I've killed all of the base bosses in the game with this build now. Like I said, there's some fundamental defenses I still need to work on. I just reworked this build again, so there's still a lot to go here. If I were going to start from scratch, I would go this direction first, instead of like the goofy castle channeling lightning conduit thing. And I think you could very easily put together the fundamentals of this build for just like 1 to 3 divines. The amount that I've invested right now is like 10, 15. So it's obviously a lot more. But if you're just cruising white and yellow maps and maybe even early reds, for just like 1 to 3 divines, you could definitely have this together. And it's actually like really, really comfortable and fun for mapping. All you have to do is shield charge into a pack of monsters, spin in a circle, shield charge, spin in a circle. Yeah, and it just like kind of works. It's pretty fun. The other thing that I've really enjoyed is the fact that there's a lot of like quirky, weird mods here, like the increased damage per chance to block, the life gain on hit for spells, stuff like that, that I've been able to lean into to make this build a lot more comfortable that you might not really expect. The big thing on the horizon for me is probably to recraft this body armor on an astral plate and try to get like that pure armor as high as possible. I don't really need the energy shield whatsoever, so that's probably the next thing on the plate. Currently, I'm at like 7 million combined DPS. The Ignite DPS is at 4.6 million, which is pretty decent. It's respectable. It can do all the regular bosses in the game really comfortable for the investment, for it being like a quirky, weird off-meta thing. I think it's pretty comfortable and fun. Will this become something that I make a build guide for? I don't know, maybe. But I just wanted to update you guys on the fun little stuff that I've been playing around with. Yeah, really enjoying playing this like weird, quirky version of a build. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'm going to go get ready for the way too late stream today, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Goodbye.